Now, this is the Military Historic Museum of the Armed Forces of the Republic of Kazakhstan. It's an L-29 trainer aircraft. It's a Czechoslovak serial jet, made its first flight in April 1959, used in almost all aviation schools of the Soviet Union, and years of mass production in Czechoslovakia. More than 3,500 of these were launched, which surpassed the production of the most common aircraft of this class in the world. So this is a MiG-29 from 1984. Flew speeds of 2,500 kilometers per hour with some serious weaponry on it. There's the missiles, guns. Wow. Obviously a two-man aircraft. Walk around the whole thing. It's not too often you get to see one of these this close. So that's a MiG-29. Look at that. Neat-o. The S-125 SAM system. Flying at extremely low and medium altitude planes are the ones that they target. Provided for the defeat of bombers, fighter bombers, multi-purpose aircraft, and cruise missiles. The C-125 complex was used in various local wars and conflicts. This is a 57 millimeter anti-tank gun from 1941. This is the BTR-80, created in the early 1980s. It was for transportation of subunits and fire support in combat, the destruction of manpower, anti-tank weapons, and lightly armored enemy vehicles. This is the BMP-2, designed for transport of personnel to the front line, increased mobility, armaments, and security on the battlefield under conditions of use of nuclear weapons. This is the T-64 tank, Soviet medium tank intended to destroy enemy personnel and enemy infantry and artillery fire weapons. But there's a nice side view. It also destroys other tanks and mechanized vehicles. It was developed in the design office of the Kharkov factory of transport of engineering in 1968, used in many local wars and armed conflicts. And what do we have here? Look at that. It's the ZSU-23-4 self-propelled anti-aircraft gun. Mass production started in 1964. We'll cruise around the back of it. What is that drum on the back? It's going to say some kind of radar unit or something. Look at the size of the gun on that thing. The 2S3 Aketsia self-propelled gun. This thing is huge. This is the 2S1 Gvozdika, 122 millimeter self-propelled artillery, designed to suppress and destroy just about everything. Created at the Kharkov plant. The MLRS Grad multiple rocket launcher. 1963, it was adopted. 30 armies used it in the world, it says. It's 122 millimeter. Each projectile weighs 66.35 kilograms. Here's the last mobile launcher. That one has some pretty big launch tubes on it. This is the 9K57 Hurricane reactive salvo fire system, it calls itself. It's designed to destroy just about everything. It says, oh, this can fire up to 35 kilometers. It's actually still in service. Interesting, 220 millimeter gun. So now we get into the artillery. This is a 152 millimeter howitzer. It's interesting how the Western armies and the Russian armies all had howitzers. How does that work? And then there's this guy here. This guy here is the 22 millimeter howitzer, the M30. Okay, 1939 to 1955. So this smaller unit produced prior to the bigger howitzer. By the way, let's go back and look. What does it say here? It says the distance on these 12 kilometers, this guy. So that's the 22 millimeter howitzer. The 152 millimeter howitzer is 13.7 kilometers. So they're not that much different in distance, obviously in impact though. Now this guy, I'm gonna guess, can go longer. If those ones are 12 or 13 kilometers, this one must be 20. Look at the length of that barrel. Let's go have a look. This 100 millimeter anti-tank gun, the MT-12 Rapira, could shoot 8.2 kilometers, half as much as the other ones. This is the 85 millimeter anti-tank gun, the D48 9K. So these shoot around between 8 and 15K distance. That's interesting. So you don't want to be within 25 kilometer distance of front line, apparently. The 76 millimeter division gun, 1942. The ZIS-3, The distance on this guy, 13. So they're all about the same. Amazing artillery they used to pound out, eh? I guess it was all about front lines, wasn't it? This is a 152 millimeter mortar from 1931, it says. I guess it's called the GAU 52 G521. And that would launch some pretty big mortars. Used primarily 1933 and 1934, 1935. The Great Patriotic War, created by the German company Rheinmetall. Now here's an older artillery unit. It's on wagon wheels. Neato. Pretty serious steel in that thing. Look at that. This is from the Czech Republic, it says. It's a 100 millimeter M14-19 howitzer. I wonder what year. Doesn't give a year on this one. 1914, maybe? That's what the number might imply. So I guess technically, in English, the translation is the Military Historic Museum of the Armed Forces of the Republic of Kazakhstan.